John Henderson, a seasoned UN pilot known for his resourcefulness and steady nerves, was in the middle of a rescue mission in an African nation torn apart by years of brutal conflict. The rhythmic thumping of his helicopter's blades, a haunting lullaby, was his only companion in the desolate landscape. As he flew over what was once a vibrant town, now reduced to a ghost of its former self, a stray missile exploded nearby, throwing his helicopter off balance. A cloud of dust erupted from the ground, obscuring his vision. Instinct took over as he maneuvered the helicopter with practiced precision, but the relentless onslaught from below was too much. Forced to land, he found himself in the belly of the beast, the chaos of war surrounding him. His heart pounded in his chest as he emerged from the damaged cockpit. The grim ruins of the town bore the scars of relentless warfare. Amongst the destruction, his eyes landed on an unexpected sight. A young girl, alone, dirty, and dressed in tattered clothes, stood amidst the ruins. She couldn't have been more than 8 years old, but her eyes held a depth that belied her tender age. Her name was Amara. Unlike most children her age who would be terrified in such circumstances, she bore a stoic expression. Her remarkable courage shone through, a beacon of resilience amidst the ruins. She was holding onto a makeshift doll, a testament to her survival, her resilience, and her hope in the midst of the harrowing landscape. For John, time seemed to stand still. Amidst the chaos and disarray, he saw an echo of his own daughter in Amara. He remembered the last time he had seen his daughter, safe and secure in their home, thousands of miles away. This girl, Amara, had none of those assurances. Moved by her fortitude, he made an impromptu decision, one that would change both of their lives forever. With a gentleness that belied his rugged exterior, John approached Amara, bending down to her level. He told her his name and promised her safety. He showed her the UN badge on his uniform, trying to assure her that he was there to help. He promised to get her out of the country, away from the desolation and danger that had engulfed her life. The spark in Amara's eyes didn't waver as she listened to John's words. She nodded, letting go of her makeshift doll and extending a small, dirty hand towards him. Her trust was as overwhelming as it was humbling, and it steeled his resolve. John held onto Amara's hand as they walked back towards the helicopter, the ruins of the town casting long shadows around them. He knew their journey ahead was fraught with danger, but for that moment, as the setting sun bathed the war-torn landscape in a soft glow and the sound of his helicopter rumbled to life once more, he felt a profound connection with this courageous little girl. He was no longer just a rescue pilot, he was Amara's lifeline, her guardian, her hope for a future beyond the war and destruction. John Henderson, a seasoned UN pilot, had always led a life of profound courage, but nothing had prepared him for the immense emotional journey he was about to embark on. His encounter with Amara, the resilient young girl in the ruins of a war-torn African country, had stirred something deep within him. Moved by Amara's bravery and the echo of his own daughter in her innocent eyes, John decided to adopt her, to give her a chance at a life she would never have known in her war-stricken homeland. With every piece of paperwork filled and every legal hurdle crossed, he could sense the monumental shift in their lives. They flew across oceans and continents, leaving behind the heat and dust of Africa for the lush greenery of his home in rural America. As they descended onto American soil, he felt the weight of the responsibility he had undertaken. He was not just bringing Amara to a new home, he was introducing her to a new world, a new culture, and a whole new way of life. Amara was quiet, observing everything with wide eyes and a sense of awe. She was a quick learner, adapting to her new surroundings with the same resilience that had helped her survive in her homeland. There were misunderstandings and moments of homesickness, but through it all, the bond between John and Amara grew stronger. Trust blossomed gradually between them. The stoic silence that Amara once held began to thaw, replaced by a growing comfort and openness with John. He would find her giggling at cartoons on television, chasing fireflies in the backyard, or curiously examining the vegetables in the local supermarket. Every day was a discovery, a step towards a new normal. John and Amara navigated the labyrinth of emotions together. He learned to soothe her night terrors, remnants of her war-torn past, and she learned to seek comfort in his presence. Each shared smile, every moment of shared silence brought them closer. They learned about each other's strengths and weaknesses, creating an unspoken understanding that grew with each passing day. the adjustment to American culture was a steep learning curve for Amara. She was fascinated and overwhelmed in equal measures by the busy supermarkets, the crowded schools, and the constant buzz of suburban life. Yet she absorbed it all with an open heart, adopting the new while preserving memories of the old. For John, watching Amara flourish in her new environment was the most gratifying experience. He taught her to read and write in English, introduced her to American cuisine, and helped her understand the customs and traditions of her new home. Despite his initial apprehensions, he watched with pride as Amara became an integral part of his world, his community. Their journey was neither simple nor straightforward, but it was theirs. From the moment he had promised Amara a new life amidst the ruins of her old one, John had known that they would face challenges. But as they built their unique bond, navigating complex emotions and traversing cultural bridges, he knew in his heart that he had made the right choice. Amara was his daughter in every sense of the word, and he couldn't imagine his life without her. In the heart of America's rural landscape, a transformation was unfolding. Amara, the young girl once lost amidst the ruins of war-torn Africa, was now blossoming in her new home, exhibiting a spark of brilliance that had long lain dormant. School became Amara's sanctuary, a place where her inquisitive mind found an outlet. She devoured books and excelled in her subjects, demonstrating a voracious thirst for knowledge that both surprised and delighted her teachers. Yet, it was in the realm of engineering that her passion truly ignited. From tinkering with the tractor in the backyard to building intricate models for her school's science projects, Amara found joy in the mechanics and logic of engineering. She developed a knack for understanding complex structures, mechanisms, and systems, effortlessly connecting the dots that eluded many of her peers. John watched with amazement as Amara's talent unfurled. He had always believed in her potential, but witnessing her relentless passion for engineering was beyond his expectations. Recognizing her talent, he supported her, providing her with the tools and resources she needed. He bought her engineering kits, introduced her to online courses, and even managed to arrange meetings with local engineers who could nurture her burgeoning skills. The connection between John and Amara deepened as he nurtured her talents. In the quiet hours spent working on projects together, in the triumphant moments when Amara solved complex engineering puzzles, their bond solidified. Their laughter and shared sense of achievement echoed through their home, adding another layer to their unique father-daughter relationship. Parallel to her academic achievements and growing passion for engineering, Amara's curiosity about her past started to unfurl. She found herself drawn to the vibrant colors and captivating rhythms of African culture. She asked John questions about her homeland, probing the memories of the short time she had spent there. She wanted to know more about her biological family, the life she could have led, and the cultural roots that still pulsed within her. John handled her inquiries with grace and honesty, understanding that her past was a part of her identity that couldn't be ignored. He showed her photos he had taken during his missions, narrated stories about the resilience of her people, and even managed to find African communities in their city where Amara could learn more about her heritage. It was a delicate balance, nurturing Amara's talents while helping her explore her past. But John and Amara navigated it together, their bond strengthening with each step. As Amara's understanding of her past and her passion for engineering grew, so did her gratitude for John, the man who had rescued her from the ruins, adopted her, and given her an opportunity to dream. Their journey was unique, filled with love, mutual respect, and the understanding that they were not just father and daughter by adoption, but by choice and shared experiences. 20 years had passed since John, the skilled UN pilot, had adopted Amara, the young girl he found amidst the chaos of an African war zone. They had built a life together, nourishing a bond that transcended biology. They had embraced each other's strengths, supported each other's dreams, and grew stronger with each hurdle they faced together. But then, life threw a curveball that neither saw coming. John fell critically ill, afflicted by a rare, life-threatening condition. The vibrant man who had once flown helicopters in treacherous situations was now confined to a hospital bed, his energy waning with each passing day. The local doctors were stumped, but an international medical consortium suggested a glimmer of hope. An experimental procedure that could potentially save his life. The catch was that the procedure required a unique component, a rare mineral found only in the African country where John had found Amara. The component was difficult to obtain, ensnared in a maze of local regulations, dangerous landscapes, and a complex web of local and international interests. News of John's illness hit Amara like a punch to the gut. The man who had been her rock, her support system, was now teetering on the edge of life, and she was his only hope. She looked at John, his normally vibrant eyes now dimmed with pain, and knew what she had to do. In a move that echoed John's own act of courage years ago, Amara decided to return to her homeland to procure the elusive component for his treatment. The brilliant engineer who had once been a scared but brave little girl in a war-ravaged land was now ready to embark on a dangerous mission of her own. The stakes were high, but the cause was worth every risk. Her decision was met with disbelief and apprehension. John, in his lucid moments, protested, fearful for her safety, but Amara was resolute. She had a chance to save her father, and she wouldn't let fear deter her. As she prepared for her journey, her mind was a whirlwind of emotions: fear, apprehension, and determination. But there was also a sense of coming full circle. The country she was returning to was the land that had given her life, the land that John had rescued her from. Now it was her turn to rescue him. Armed with her sharp intellect, unyielding courage, and an unwavering resolve, Amara embarked on her journey. The journey was fraught with danger, but the image of John lying helplessly in the hospital bed propelled her forward. She was determined to repay the man who had given her a new life, who had nurtured her talents, and who had stood by her as she navigated the complexities of her identity. For Amara, this was more than a rescue mission. It was a journey of love, gratitude, and undying hope. 2 decades after leaving the war-torn landscape of her birth, Amara found herself once again on African soil. It was a strange mix of the familiar and the alien, stirring up memories long suppressed. But this was not a journey of nostalgia. Amara had a mission, a dangerous one that required every ounce of her courage, intelligence, and exceptional engineering skills. Navigating the intricate network of local bureaucracy and international regulations proved a Herculean task. The rare mineral needed for John's treatment was tied up in a maze of legal and illegal activities, controlled by powers that didn't hesitate to flex their muscles. But every hurdle she faced, every challenge she encountered, only seemed to strengthen Amara's resolve. Her eyes, so like John's, shimmered with unwavering determination. But amidst the physical and bureaucratic struggles, an unexpected journey unfolded. Amara found herself drawn towards the vibrant culture of her homeland. The sounds and colors she had only faintly remembered now surrounded her. She discovered relatives she had never known existed, piecing together the fragments of her lineage, her history. She found herself resonating with the strength and resilience of her people, echoing the same courage that John had seen in her years ago. Every step of her journey seemed to reveal a new facet of Amara's identity. The brilliant engineer from America found a part of herself in the resilience of her African heritage. Yet, each discovery, every piece of her past that fell into place, only made her mission more imperative. She was here for John, the man who had given her a chance to build a life beyond the war and devastation of her early years. As days turned into weeks, Amara found herself in the lawless terrains that were the only source of the rare mineral. In a climactic moment that tested her to her core, she found herself at odds with a ruthless warlord controlling the mineral supply. But Amara, fueled by desperation and determination, negotiated, persuaded, and even dared to threaten. Her engineering skills proved invaluable as she formulated an audacious plan to extract the mineral without disrupting the delicate balance of the local ecosystem. Finally, after a suspenseful execution of her plan that had her heart pounding against her ribs, she held in her hands a small container of the elusive mineral, the component that held the potential to save John's life. The joy and relief that washed over her were overwhelming, but she knew that her mission was only half accomplished. With the precious mineral safely tucked away, Amara embarked on the arduous journey back home. Time was of the essence, and she found herself battling not just physical exhaustion, but an agonizing fear that she might be too late. When she finally reached the United States, she was a changed woman. In her eyes was a new depth, a reflection of the complex journey she'd undertaken. She rushed to the hospital, the precious mineral clutched tightly in her hand. The doctors acted swiftly, integrating the rare component into John's treatment. The following hours were a blur of anxiety, anticipation, and hope. And then, against all odds, John's condition started to improve. The man who had once rescued a little girl from a war-ravaged land was now being saved by that same girl, now a brilliant, courageous woman. Amara had repaid her debt, not out of obligation, but out of deep love and gratitude. She had saved the man who had changed her life forever, bringing their extraordinary journey full circle. In saving John, she had not only discovered her roots, but also found the strength within her. The little girl from Africa and the brave UN pilot were indeed a family, tied together by an unbreakable bond of love and gratitude.